Okay, so in the first video, I showed the materials I was using. Here you see I'm using a small paintbrush to apply the first color. It's white. I'm applying it close to center. Now I should be on the second color, yellow. Let's see. Yep. So the white was kind of in the center, and then I did some random dabs outside, and then the yellow around that, but random. So, and then this looks like the third color. I was trying to get an orange. It's not really orange, but I mixed some pigments. Again, this is oil and mica-based pigments. And what I ended up doing, because I couldn't figure out how to do it any other way, I just used short segments at regular speed of the action and then merged into them so that you are in effect seeing 43 minutes of work in 6 minutes. Now, I am on about the fourth color now. You can see I've covered most of the guitar body. Now I'm doing the outer edge. The idea with the outer edge was to make it smoky. I chose aluminum, which looks very dark, both the pigment and when I painted it on, but when it catches the light, it's like almost like chrome, very light colored. And so I later changed that. Okay, so now I'm using a rag to blend things in because it's nothing like paint. The pigment is basically floating like silt in the bottom of a stream you stir up. It's like floating so in the oil, so when you put it on, it doesn't go on evenly. Okay, so I'm not quite halfway through with this, and this is how I have figured out that I needed to do this, was voiceover. I've never done this before, and I don't have much control. Okay, so now after I added some more color, probably light colors, trying, when I blended it, I probably lost some colors. Now, by the time I mixed the color, the orangish reddish color I wanted, I had so much that I had enough left over. I had a lot left over and decided to use that on the edges. That's what I'm doing here, is I'm painting or covering the edges. It's a much larger paintbrush. And so the edges have stayed this way. I have never changed those. Those came out really super good, and I love them. Now I'm doing some touch up on the edges again, trying to fill in some spots that didn't get covered. Looks like I have changed colors again because I've got a different brush. Okay, and now I'm trying to dab it off. Again, it goes on, it's oil and pigment, and it just kind of sits there, and it has to be somehow rubbed in. If it's real thick, it's oil. It's not going to dry. Eventually, I guess it would set up, but you wouldn't want that. I'm not sure oil ever fully dries. Just think of the grease on the bottom of your car. It gets hard, but you would not want that on your guitar. So I've added some more yellow. You can actually see the color here. And the longer you let it sit and dry, the less you'll wipe it off, and the more you can blend it in. Here it's been quite a bit of time. This, as I said, this was spread out over 50 minutes total, and I really haven't had time to stop and think about how this works. And so later in the process, I was putting it on and wiping it off almost immediately. Now I'm cleaning the binding. This oil and pigment won't soak into the binding, so it can just wipe off the binding. Now I'm done, and now I'm going to pick this thing up so you can see my work of art. And though I did like this, I do end up changing this. Now as we get to the still, you'll see that it's very, very thick, and so I lose the grain.